Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And as you can see here in this article from Zero Hedge, that with the headline, "Is World War III really on the horizon?" Which is pretty much trending now, World War III, with what's going on in the East. I think recently, yesterday and so on, you had the U.S. and the U.K. carrying out airstrikes in different regions against what they call the Iran-backed rebels. Okay, I think they hit certain locations in Yemen. They hit certain locations in Iraq and Syria as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, as we're going to go through, you're going to see why it's trending, because that's pretty much, as you can see, there's a lot of World War III in the news right now, which World War III is inevitable. Okay, it's going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. However, the thermonuclear aspect of it on the full scale, that's not going to take place until, something else that's world changing happens. Okay, and that's going to be the implementation of the micro CHIP. All right, the same kind of device that Elon Musk is, in the process of rolling out with their first human trial, which they did, at least the first public one, as well as these other companies that are using it for, banks and digital wallets and so on and so forth, right? So once that's actually fully rolled out, then you can, pretty much there's no more holding back of this destruction. However, this, like I mentioned earlier, is inevitable. All right, and in fact, it's prophecy. It's going to happen. So that's why you see the things that you're seeing going on around the world today. And as the Messiah prophesied in Matthew 24, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So guess what? That's what we're hearing of right now. So let's read a little bit of this, just to get a nice understanding of what exactly is happening and what exactly is being reported of right now. So Grant Shapps, the UK's defense minister, has claimed we have moved from a post-war to a post-war to a pre-war world, whatever that means. And if you read into that, you'll understand what he's saying is pretty much, if you look at like the world wars, you have World War One, World War Two, and we've moved from a world of, when people think of a world war, they think of World War Two and how that's already in the past. But now you've gotten closer to the next world war, right? The world has gone from a post war, where a war has happened, we've put it behind us, to now you're in a pre-war state, meaning now you're anticipating another war. And that's why these nations are getting ready. Okay, regardless of whether they want it to happen or not, the smart ones are saying, well, it's not about what we want at this point. It's about us not lacking when shit goes down, because it can go down. It's a very big possibility. So if we sit there and say, because we don't want it to happen, we're not going to prepare, that's just a bad idea, right? Like, here it is, things are getting dangerous, and you're not going to prepare yourself because you don't want it to be dangerous. It's going to rain, but I don't want it to rain, so I'm not going to take an umbrella. You're just going to get wet, okay? The world doesn't work that way. Going on to say, we can expect to be engulfed by wars with Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, all within the next 5 years. Again, no idea how he can know that. Well, I mean, if you look around and you see what's going on, I guess the author is probably referring to the time span or the time frame that he gave. But they're letting you know already that this is the direction things are headed in, as we've been letting you know for years. And as we all kept mentioning, Russia, and this is even in Revelation 13, right, about the beast having the feet of a bear. Okay, Russia, China, Iran, key players. And they're actually, Iran is mentioned in there in Ezekiel 38 by name. Okay, obviously they're referred to as the Persians, but that's the same thing. Iranians are Persians. So, but anyway, let's keep reading, right? So it says again, no idea how he can know that. 2 days ago, the Telegraph was headlining, World War III is approaching fast, and too few are willing to admit why. Now, you would think that, World War III, we live in an age where these countries have nuclear capabilities, hypersonic missiles, I mean, very, very destructive power, right? And they're on the brink of going to war with each other. I see. This is like we're not talking about two elementary school kids having a fight on the block, right? We're talking about, at least for those who are familiar with like Marvel and stuff, we're talking about like, or just comics and stuff like that. Like imagine if you have like Doomsday versus Superman, in your city, or if you have like the Hulk versus, I don't know, Thor, in your state. That's dangerous, right? Because we know how much damage Hulk can do compared to a toddler or some elementary school kid. And we know how much damage Thor can do, once again, compared to some elementary school kid. So if these two come together and they go to war, that's going to be a lot of casualties, right? That dude gets hit and he breaks down the whole block goes down because he just crashed through the building. If Hulk gets angry, he picks up somebody's car, somebody's brand new Jeep, and throws it. Then Thor gets out the way, it hits a gas station, and then boom, half the block is gone. So when you look at these nations, Russia, Iran, China, the US, the UK, NATO, these are nuclear capable, you know, regions. And if they say we're gonna let off our we're gonna really get into it, that's not good news for you, you know? And once again, like I said, you would think that people who are affected by this would say, this is this. Let me pay attention to what's going on here because it sounds like things are really getting bad. But is that what they're doing? Absolutely not. I mean, some because they don't understand, they don't actually understand what this means for them, and some because they just don't care. And that kind of says a lot, right? Um, anyway, we'll keep on reading. So it says here 2 days before that, the Mirror went with World War III. Five chilling signs UK and US are headed for all-out conflict amid global unrest. And it's going to happen. We're going to be sitting right here. And you're going to hear some news come out. Oh, this just happened. Breaking. This just happened. And this has just led to a whole new escalation. And this is officially, it's the news is going to happen. Yesterday, Spiked asked simply, are you ready for World War III? Before adding, our saber-rattling elites need to take a deep breath. Today, The Express reports that top NATO allies strike World War III deal as Putin on brink of war with the West. These are wars and rumors of wars, okay? Literally. There are actual wars going on, and you're literally reading and hearing about rumors of wars almost every day. That in itself is a part of the prophecies that's happening. And it's letting you know that, well, then this means that the signs the Lord was saying that would be happening before he returns, this has to be that time when those signs are going to be taking place. The Telegraph has clearly got its priorities in order. Warning, a third world war would transform global finance beyond recognition. Oh, wow. Is that what we're thinking about? And incidentally, ripping off a Jasper Carrot stand-up routine from 40 years ago. Perhaps the oddest World War III headline belongs to Newsweek, which wants us to start farming a new superfood in case of nuclear war. In terms of actual conflict, we have ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, and a civil war in Myanmar as well. ISIS allegedly conducted a terrorist attack in Iran. Iran took out targets in Pakistan, and Pakistan responded in kind. So there's wars going on all around the world, right? Somebody apparently droned some some U.S. servicemen in Syria. The U.S. is blaming Iran and may retaliate. Well, the eternal war in Yemen is still ongoing, with Houthi rebels now attacking ships in the Red Sea in solidarity with Palestine. So you see how this one thing has triggered so many other things? They said, oh, there was something that happened on October 7th. They retaliated, they went to war, and now look at what's happening over there in the East. The Middle East, so-called Middle East, is being destabilized. The US or the UK and US are sending ships into the area, with experts calling for airstrikes to prevent World War III, apparently hoping to invoke a rare de-escalation via blowing stuff up tactic. I mean, that's an interesting way of doing things, right? Here it is, you're talking shit to somebody, right? You're talking shit to his face, you face to face, and then they say, I have an idea. In addition to talking shit, let me slap him in the face. I think that'll really de-escalate the situation, you know? I mean, it's better than punching him in the face. In a similar vein, Zelensky is warning Germany might walk into World War III if it doesn't supply him with missiles. I don't follow his logic, but then I haven't spent a few $billion of US military aid on cocaine. Wow, that's interesting. Trump is trumpeting that Biden's carelessness has left the world on the brink of World War III. But that's the thing. That's just that. It's not carelessness. Biden himself is not, he's, like we always tell you, he's a puppet. And it's easy with somebody like that as the face to paint them as somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, like somebody that's just carelessly doing these things. But it's strategic, right? These executive orders he has signed, each move that he has made with the guise of, Biden is just losing his mind, that's why he's done it. They're hiding the actual carefully planned, sinister ideas that are actually behind this. Okay? The doomsday clock is set at 90 seconds to midnight. And suddenly, everyone is talking about conscription, which when you look up conscription, is basically enlisting people into war, like a draft. As if that would have any bearing at all on a World War III. Both the UK and Australia have had calls for conscription in the past week. So guess what? Eventually, you're going to get your ass taken. You're going to get drafted. When they start running out of them troops, they need more and more. Guess what? They're going to take you. Men and women alike. So what's going on? How does the apparent surge in international conflict work with the Great Reset world government plan? Is it breaking it or making it? Is it possible they are dangling a nuclear sword of Damocles over the world in order to scare people into embracing world peace through a global new world order? Or could they be picking the sides of the next Cold War? Or is it all real and we could all be radioactive ash by 2025? Now, I wouldn't say we all, but it's possible that certain places could be radioactive ash by 2025. Because regardless of whether it's real or whether it's not, it will get real. At least we know that one thing. What do you guys think? Will the UK bring back conscription? Is this about good old-fashioned military spending? Are we really on the brink of World War III? Yes, we are. Or is this a narrative? And if so, what's the purpose? What happens next? I'll tell you what happens next. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past. The second woe is talking about World War II. When you read Revelation chapter, I believe it's chapter 9, it goes into World War I. Here, as the Apostle John is saying, the second woe is past because he got the visions of these world wars. And he described it as best as he could. So World War II is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, because he also saw that as well. And he saw that the time between these two is not that long. Okay? So, yes, World War III is coming, and it's coming fast. Are people ready for that? Of course not. But as we read here about conscription, right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. And we're going to find out why they're not going to have bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. So, what's going to happen to their husbands, the bridegrooms, the helpers, the men, and the women too, but mainly the men? In the wars, shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Now, because when things get dangerous, women are going to be looking for men to protect them. But when your man was enlisted and he's dead over there and blown up to bits over there, or he got shot up, or he got killed, whatever the case is, now you left by yourself. Now keep in mind this verse is taken from a chapter, 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and in this chapter, Ezra was describing a vision that he saw of the future concerning the world, primarily in places like America and other parts of the world as well, Europe and so on and so forth. So we're talking about this same time period in which he's describing, the bridegrooms being destroyed and the husbands perishing and so on and so forth. Now, if they're going to be destroyed in the wars, how is that going to happen? I mean, there's the case where war is happening, your nation gets attacked, the other nation, maybe they shot a missile or whatever, and it ended up killing people here in your soil. Yeah, that's one way. And then there's the other way where, like we just read about the conscription, and they also have civil conscription where they take civilians and then they throw your ass into war, and then you're going to die over there. You're not going to go into World War III as a soldier and then think you're going to come back scot-free. This is Ezekiel 33 and 33. And as he asked, right, what was the question? Are we really on the brink of World War III? Well, guess what? Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. There's your answer right there. It will come. Now, what's a part of that? The visions, okay, the prophetic visions that were seen and received by these prophets concerning the things to happen, i.e. World War III, i.e. the mark of the beast, okay, the implantable thing, martial law, famines, chaos. When these things come to pass, because they will come, that's when, right, then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. That's when they're going to think back to these videos and lessons and say, oh, shoot, I remember hearing about this years ago. Yeah, I remember these guys were saying the same exact thing all those years ago. Wow, they really knew. Oh, man, wow. So these guys weren't just crazy after all. They were telling us exactly what was going to happen. They were really warning us. And we didn't listen. And now we caught up. Ah, man, what a shame. And you don't want to be up in that. You don't want to be in that position. All right, because at that point, good luck finding one of us. But, even if you do, good luck getting help. But anyway, this is what's going on. World War III is really on the horizon. And, hey, it's all under control of the Heavenly Father. Okay, so he can speed it up just like that. And you want to be ready when that time comes. And you want the Lord to grant you mercy, because if not, then yes, you will be a part of that radioactive ash. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying and informative to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.